This is the message you needed today. You're not tired. Not really. You're tested. There's a difference, and deep down, you know it. You've come farther than most, endured more than you speak of, and yet, you're standing at the edge, wondering if it's time to walk away. Let me be blunt. This is not your finish line. This is your proving ground. And if you quit now, you'll never know how close you really were. The world lies to you. It tells you success should be fast, easy, convenient. But the truth? Every breakthrough comes with blisters. Every calling demands a crucifixion. You don't need more motivation. You need a mental awakening, a confrontation with the part of you that was born to rise. And that's what this message is. A spark, a shift, a reminder that your pain has a purpose, and your delay is not denial, it's design. So before you let the fear win, before you abandon the thing that was placed in your heart for a reason, I need you to lean in. Because this is not just another speech. This is the message you were meant to find today. And by the end of it, something in you will refuse to settle ever again. The valley where men quit. There's a moment on the journey where most men walk away. And almost always, it's right before the breakthrough. Like digging for gold and quitting when you're just inches away. I've seen it countless times. People give up not because they're weak, but because they mistake fatigue for failure. True defeat doesn't come from falling, it comes from quitting. That's where dreams die. Take R.U. Darby's story. He and his uncle struck gold in Colorado. They dug with fire in their hearts, until the gold vein disappeared. Discouraged, they sold their equipment to a junkman for pennies. That man sought expert advice, drilled 3 feet further, and found millions. Darby didn't fail. He just stopped. What he lacked wasn't opportunity. It was persistence and a burning clarity of purpose to keep going when things got dark. And that's what you need to remember right now. Maybe you've stopped right at the edge of your promise. A business, a dream, a transformation left behind because the results didn't come fast enough. But those who rise aren't lucky. They're stubborn. They keep going even when the world goes silent. And once you learn how to keep walking in silence, that's when we can talk about desire. The real kind that refuses to burn out. Desire is the crucible. What's the difference between dreamers and achievers? It's not talent. It's not even time. It's desire, the kind that keeps burning even when everything else around you is cold. Weak desires vanish at the first obstacle. They evaporate with a single no, but a definite, burning desire? That becomes fuel. It transforms setbacks into stepping stones. It commands focus. It demands progress. Look at Carnegie. Look at Rockefeller. These weren't men who waited for luck. They didn't sit around for the perfect timing. They had fire in their guts. While others looked for comfort, they chased vision with relentless effort. They studied. They labored. They climbed. And that desire was louder than every doubt, every delay, every failure. That's what elevated them. Not convenience, but obsession with purpose. If you feel stuck, maybe the problem isn't the world around you. Maybe you're feeding a lukewarm desire. Write down what you want in detail. Read it aloud every morning and night. See it. Feel it. Speak it into your bones. Until your inner fire burns so strong it ignites everything around you. Because desire starts the journey, but it's not enough. To move through the dark, you'll need the next piece. Faith that doesn't flinch. Faith, the shield against night. When everything feels heavy, when silence fills the room and your goals seem out of reach, what keeps you moving? Not logic, not inspiration. Faith, but not the vague, passive kind. I'm talking about unshakable belief, the kind that creates reality. Faith is the shield that protects your vision when nothing else is working. Without it, the darkness will eat you alive. Edison had it. They laughed at him, called him a failure after thousands of attempts. But he didn't just hope light would come. He believed it already existed. Every experiment, every burned filament, every setback was just a step. That's not luck. That's faith in motion. And faith must be spoken daily. It must be programmed into your subconscious until doubt has no room to live. If you're in that silent season, where effort isn't rewarded, where friends disappear, where failure whispers in the dark, this is where your mental strength is tested. Don't beg for signs. Create them with your words. Say, I believe. I persist. I succeed. Because when faith takes root, fear has no power. But faith without discipline, that's just fantasy. Which leads us to the next step. Discipline, refusal of excuses. Desire lights the flame. Faith keeps it burning, but only discipline shapes it into success. Without discipline, you'll keep restarting the same goals year after year, never getting anywhere. Discipline is more than routine. It's the quiet voice that says, do it anyway. It's the rejection of every excuse your mind will serve you on a silver platter. Edison didn't rely on luck. He followed schedules, logged experiments, analyzed outcomes. Ford wasn't chasing motivation. He woke early, worked smart, and kept distractions away. Carnegie ran his life like a battle plan. That's not just discipline, that's intentional action. And you can do the same. Design your morning. Read 10 pages of something powerful, like Think and Grow Rich. Write your goals before bed. Decide how you'll win, and act like it's non-negotiable. Most people don't fail from lack of vision. They fail from lack of control. And the truth? If you can't govern yourself, you can't command your destiny. Discipline is what turns mental clarity into habits. And habits, over time, become your character. But no matter how strong your personal discipline is, you'll need others. Allies, the right voices around you. Which brings us to the most underestimated power of all, the mastermind. The wilderness is temporary. Every man or woman destined for greatness will face the wilderness. Not a physical desert, but the long, painful season of delay, rejection, and silence. It's where you question everything, your path, your progress, even your purpose. But understand this, the wilderness is not a punishment. It's preparation. It's where character is carved and weakness is burned away. Abraham Lincoln knew it. Decades of failure, rejection, public loss, all before he became the man who would unite a nation. Ford went bankrupt, humiliated, doubted. Still, he kept going. Edison endured ridicule and empty pockets. Yet all of them shared one thing: persistence through the wilderness. That's what earned them the right to lead, to win, to be remembered. The wilderness is the forge of destiny. Maybe you're in that place now. Maybe you've prayed, worked, hoped, and still, the doors remain closed. But that silence, it's shaping you. That wait, it's building the resilience that shortcuts never provide. Write the lessons. Welcome the delay. Stand tall, because those who surrender in the desert vanish, but those who persist, they rise. And the secret weapon that keeps them walking? A vision that outshines the pain. Vision beyond pain. When a man walks through darkness, it's not strength alone that keeps him standing, it's vision. A clear, vivid image of where he's going, even when his feet are bleeding, even when the world screams that he's lost. Pain without vision becomes unbearable, but pain with vision, that becomes purpose. It becomes fuel, the bridge from suffering to transformation. Moses led people who only saw hunger, thirst, and sand. They longed for the chains of Egypt, because at least slavery was familiar. But Moses saw something greater, a land flowing with abundance, cities yet to be built, freedom yet to be tasted. He kept going, not because the pain wasn't real, but because the vision was louder. You need the same, not a vague hope, a crystal clear picture of what your life will look like on the other side of adversity. So, what do you see when you close your eyes? Poverty, struggle, fear, or purpose? Wealth, impact? You must choose your vision carefully, because whatever you focus on will grow. Write your future in detail. Say it aloud every day. See the life you want until it becomes more real than the one you're living. Because when the pain screams for you to stop, your vision must shout back. Keep going. And if you do, even your defeats can become strength. Convert defeat into strength. Every man on the path to greatness will be struck down, but not every man will rise again. That's the test. The real question isn't whether you'll face defeat, it's what you'll do with it. Will you collapse into self-pity? Or will you convert that failure into fire? Every setback hides a seed, but only the persistent, the awake, the purpose-driven have eyes to see it. Think of Thomas Edison. 10,000 failed experiments. Reporters mocked him. Scholars dismissed him. But Edison didn't call them failures. He called them steps forward. Lincoln lost more elections than most people dare to enter. Still, he pressed on. Why? Because they both understood something the average person never learns. Defeat is never final unless you accept it. And those who refuse to accept it, they turn it into power. So, when life knocks you flat, pause, but don't panic. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What new muscle is this building? What hidden door just got revealed? Write it down. reflect, and most importantly, apply it. Because the man who converts his pain into wisdom becomes untouchable. Not lucky, not perfect, but unstoppable. And that unshakable force leads to the final piece, the crown that holds everything together. Persistence is the crown. You can have desire, faith, discipline, and a clear vision. But if you don't persist, it's all wasted. Persistence is the crown, the final test, the last gatekeeper between where you are and where you're meant to be. The world doesn't give you what you want when it's convenient. It gives and only when you prove you can outlast the silence, the setbacks, the storms. Edison didn't just invent the light bulb, he earned it, one failure at a time. Ford didn't just build cars, he built resilience. Carnegie didn't just rise from poverty, he rose through it. They all wore the same crown, unrelenting persistence. Not blind stubbornness, but intelligent, purpose-driven pressure applied day after day, year after year. They didn't knock once, they kept knocking until the door broke down. And maybe that's your crown too. Maybe life hasn't responded yet because it's still checking if you're serious. So ask yourself, have I truly persisted? Or have I just dabbled with hope? Speak it out loud. I do not quit. I do not drift. I persist until I succeed. Repeat it until your soul believes it. Because the man who persists cannot be stopped. Not by failure, not by fear, not even by the devil himself. And that, my friend, is how destiny is conquered. Now that you've heard what most people spend a lifetime avoiding, what will you do with it? Will you let it pass like another feel-good video? Or will you draw a line in the sand today? Will you keep waiting for the right moment? Or will you finally take command of your thoughts, your actions, your future? Because here's the truth. Nothing changes until you change. Your destiny won't chase you. You must chase it with persistence that refuses to die. So tell me, what's the first step you'll take today toward the life you were born to live? What vision burns so deeply that giving up is no longer an option? Drop your answer in the comments, not just for engagement, but as a public declaration that you will no longer drift. And if this message shook something inside you, if it reminded you of who you really are, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Because this is only the beginning. The next video may not just inspire you, it may transform you.